For over a decade, Long Island held a secret buried beneath its quiet coastal roads and windswept beaches, a secret that began with a string of disappearances and ended with the discovery of human remains scattered along Ocean Parkway. For years, investigators had no clear suspect, no clear motive, only a pattern that refused to disappear, until one name emerged, a man who, by all outward appearances, lived a completely ordinary life. A husband, a father, a working professional in New York's architectural world. But behind that normalcy, authorities would later allege a far darker possibility, one that would reshape one of America's most disturbing unsolved serial murder investigations. The Gilgo Beach murders refer to a series of human remains discovered along Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach on Long Island, New York. The investigation began in 2010, when police searching for a missing woman uncovered multiple sets of human remains hidden in a remote marsh area. As searches expanded, more victims were discovered in what became known as the Gilgo Beach serial killings. Most of the identified victims were young women, many believed to be involved in sex work, who had disappeared years earlier between the mid-2000s and early 2010s. The discoveries shocked the public and revealed a pattern that suggested a serial offender operating in the shadows of one of America's most densely populated regions. Despite extensive investigation, the case remained unresolved for over a decade. That changed when a dedicated task force intensified its review of forensic evidence, digital records, and historical communications tied to the victims. In 2023, authorities arrested Rex Heuermann, a New York-based architect, in connection with several of the Gilgo Beach murders. Heuermann, a resident of Long Island, was described publicly as a professional working in Manhattan with a long-standing career in architectural design. To those around him, he appeared to maintain a stable family life, a married man, a father, someone who blended into everyday suburban life without drawing attention. However, prosecutors allege that behind this outward image, Heuermann may have been linked to multiple homicide investigations spanning years. It is important to note that as of all publicly available legal proceedings, Heuermann has been charged but not convicted. He has maintained a plea of not guilty, and the case remains active in the judicial system. The contrast between his public persona and the allegations against him has become one of the most unsettling aspects of the case. The breakthrough in the Gilgo Beach investigation did not come from a single piece of evidence. Instead, it was the result of years of accumulated forensic analysis. Investigators reportedly examined DNA evidence recovered from crime scenes, linking it through modern genetic testing methods to materials associated with the suspect. Digital forensic work also played a major role. Authorities analyzed phone records, location data, and communication patterns tied to the time periods of the victims' disappearances. Surveillance footage and vehicle tracking data were also reviewed, part of a broader reconstruction of movement patterns along Long Island's coastal highways. The emerging theory suggested a potential overlap between the suspect's movements and the locations where victims were last seen. As the investigation advanced, prosecutors built what they described as a circumstantial but increasingly detailed case. In 2026, according to court filings and media reports covering ongoing proceedings, additional forensic reviews and digital evidence assessments were reportedly presented in court. However, these developments remain part of an active legal process and have not been independently verified as final conclusions. According to recent 2026 court reports and investigative media coverage, there have been claims of statements and discussions presented during legal proceedings that suggest possible admissions related to multiple victims. However, it is critical to emphasize that these remain allegations discussed in court contexts or reported by media sources, and no verified public confession has been confirmed as a matter of final legal record. Legal experts caution that ongoing pre-trial proceedings often include disputed interpretations of evidence, statements, and investigative summaries. What has emerged instead is a broader psychological profile being examined by prosecutors and defense experts alike, a dual life theory, one that suggests the possibility of an individual maintaining a highly controlled public identity while allegedly engaging in covert criminal activity over an extended period. Criminal psychologists studying similar cases often point to traits such as compartmentalization, emotional detachment, and long-term concealment behavior. But again, these remain analytical frameworks, not proven conclusions in this case. The presumption of innocence still applies. Criminal psychologists examining cases of alleged serial offenders often highlight a consistent behavioral pattern: dual identity construction, outward stability paired with hidden deviance. Experts suggest that long-term concealment of violent behavior typically requires structured routines, risk calculation, and psychological separation between personal life and alleged criminal acts. Investigators also analyze victim selection patterns, looking for consistency in geography, timing, and opportunity. In the Gilgo Beach case, law enforcement has focused heavily on reconstructing timelines and identifying potential links between digital behavior and physical movements. From a law enforcement perspective, modern serial crime investigations increasingly rely on data aggregation, combining DNA, technology, and behavioral profiling into a unified evidentiary picture. But even with advanced tools, experts emphasize that building a complete narrative in cases like this takes years, sometimes decades. The Gilgo Beach case remains one of the most significant serial murder investigations in modern American history. While one suspect has been charged, the broader questions surrounding the case are still unresolved. Investigators continue to examine whether additional victims may exist who have not yet been identified. Families of the missing still wait for answers, and the legal process continues to unfold in courtrooms, where evidence is tested and challenged under strict judicial standards. What makes this case particularly haunting is not only the number of victims discovered, but the possibility that the full scope of the crimes may still not be known. As the investigation moves forward, one truth remains clear. For every answer found, new questions seem to emerge, and the search for full accountability is far from over. If you're drawn to the truth behind the headlines, you're in the right place. This is CSV Crime Story Vault. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new case. If this story moved you, disturbed you, or made you think, hit like and leave a comment below. And for exclusive updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more real crime stories, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Crimestory Vault 25. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and keep the vault open.